What's up, meatbags? It's the often imitated, never duplicated TonyTGD coming at you with another video. This time we're talking about March of the First Order, the Rise of Skywalker. That's right, this is the final movie in the Disney trilogy, and we're going to go ahead and give you my thoughts on it. Now, right off the bat, I could say that this is the best movie in the Disney trilogy. I would give it a solid 8 out of 10. It's very good. It fixes a lot of the problems I had with the previous movies as far as pacing, storytelling, all that good stuff. But let's just quickly talk about the plot of the movie. Now, we learn that in the opening crawl that Palpatine is back. He's sending out some sort of message to his followers. We learn that Kylo Ren has some sort of device that's going to allow him to find um, Palpatine. Meanwhile, Rey is continuing her training. She's being trained by Princess Leia, or General Leia, as she's now known. But she's not quite there. She still has doubts. So she doesn't really complete her training. Meanwhile, we got Finn and Poe. They're meeting with some kind of spy. They're trying to get some kind of intelligence. They're on their way back from the mission. They start skipping through hyperspace and kind of fuck up the Millennium Falcon. But they get back to the base, deliver the message that there is in fact a spy, and this spy has told them that Palpatine is back and that he's organizing some sort of grand fleet, some final order, if you will, that they're gonna go out and cause shit and havoc to the galaxy. So obviously, when Poe mentions the planet Exegol, where Palpatine is hiding, it is in the unknown regions. No one knows where it's at. It's the hidden world of the Sith. Rey recognizes the name from Luke's notes. Finds out that, hey, Luke was looking for this planet. We're going to pick up the search where Luke left off. And of course, everybody decided we're going to go together because, you can't go alone. This is a team effort. So, Finn, Poe, Rey, C3PO, Chewbacca, BB-8, they all get together. They go to a planet called Pisana. It's like a desert planet. And they get there. They're going to be looking for, clues to find out, what it was that Luke was looking for. Surprise, surprise, when they get there, it is like intergalactic Burning Man. Big old festival. They try to blend in. End up running into Lando Calrissian, who saves them from some First Order troops. He explains to them what Luke was looking for. He was looking for a ship from a man named Ochi. He said that Luke believed that Ochi had clues or some kind of way to find Exegol. So they got to find the ship. They do find it, but they accidentally fall inside a like quicksand, like galactic quicksand or whatever. End up in some kind of tunnels with a giant snake. They find Ochi's dead body, find a dagger on him. Inscribed on the dagger in the Sith language is the clue that they're looking for. Of course, C3PO, he is able to decipher this. However, protocols within his programming does not allow him to actually tell them what it means because the Galactic Federation has put a little thing in all droids that they're not allowed to translate anything from Sith. I guess their intention was to not allow people to learn the secrets of the Sith or try to join them or whatever. So C3PO can't tell them the secrets. So they're kind of shit out of luck. But they come up with an idea. They say, you know what? If we can get into his brain, we can kind of like override him. So they got to figure out, they got to find a somebody to do this for them. Meanwhile, Kylo Ren, he goes to the planet. He's coming. He's going to start a fight. Rey goes out to meet him. Because of this, Chewbacca ends up getting captured. He gets taken away. Rey sees a transport ship that she believes Chewbacca to be on, tries to stop it using the Force. Kylo Ren shows back up. He starts pulling with the Force. They're having like a little Force tug of war. Lightning bolts eventually come flying out of Rey's fingertips, blow the ship up. She believes she has killed Chewbacca, and she heads back into Ochi's ship where they take off. We get a little sad, quiet moment where she's reflecting on the fact that she just killed Chewbacca. Inadvertently as it was, but she still feels responsible for what happened. So they end up going to a planet called Kijimi, which Poe is familiar with. Apparently something has happened there in the past. He's not really keen on going there, but hey, you gotta do what you gotta do. Get there, they run into a character. I believe her name was Zori. Yeah, Zori Bliss. They run into her. Turns out that she's a old acquaintance of Poe's, and Poe used to be a spice runner before he joined the Resistance. She hooks him up with some droid mechanic. What the hell's his name? It's got a really weird name. Some little mini droid mechanic that they end up helping. He ends up saying, hey, yeah, I could get into C-3PO's brain. I can tell you the secrets, but it's going to erase his memory. He's not going to remember any of these. So we get a little quiet moment where C-3PO's taking them in for one last time. He says, we got to do what we got to do. He's going to sacrifice his memory in order for the group to go ahead and find out the secrets that are contained within his brain. They get the information out. They learn that they have to go to some planet in the Endor system. They're going to go there. There's going to be a device, a wayfinder, that's going to tell them how to get to Exegol. C-3PO's memory is wiped out. He doesn't recognize them. They take off. They go to the planet. And they end up running into some kind of group of people. They're on like these horses. Tell them that they had a message. They find out that, yeah, we're here to help you. Can't really get to the Death Star. The Death Star has, this is in the Endor planet. The Death Star's crashed. There's a big, ocean between the land and where the Death Star is, where they need to go. They figure out, using the dagger, that it's got this, little compass showing where in the Death Star they need to go. Can't get to it. Gotta wait till morning because it's, the waves are too rough. Of course, Rey doesn't want to wait. She gets in a boat. She sails to there. Gets on the Death Star, finds the little wayfinder, but unfortunately Kylo Ren's right behind her. He destroys it. They get into a little saber battle. Finn, he comes to the Death Star. He's like, no, I want to help, but she shrugs him off, throws him back. She continues her little lightsaber duel. Eventually, Princess Leia, she decides that she's going to reach out to Ben one last time, try to get him back to the light. When she does that, this gives Rey the opening to stab him with a lightsaber, and she kills Kylo Ren. But by doing this, Princess Leia has used up the last bit of her strength, her energy, and she passes away and she dies. Now, Rey feels the disturbance in the Force from Leia's passing, and she knows that she kind of fucked up. She knows that Leia was reaching out to Kylo Ren. So she uses her Force powers to heal Kylo Ren, something that she did earlier in the movie when they ran into the giant snake. She heals him, walks off from him, steals his ship, figuring that his ship probably has the coordinates to the planet or something. I don't know. She just gets in the ship, takes off. Meanwhile, Kylo Ren has a moment where he realizes his mother's dead. He sees what he calls a memory of Han Solo. Han kind of talks to him, brings him back to the light, says, hey, it's not too late to come home. It's not too late to be Ben Kenobi. Kylo Ren is dead. You need to do it. He delivers the I know what I need to do, but I don't think I'm strong enough to do it line one more time. This time, throwing away the evil lightsaber, finally getting rid of Kylo Ren, banishing the dark side from his heart, and deciding that, he wants to be good, he wants to do what's right. Now, we find out that Rey, she didn't go to Exegol. Actually, she's back on the planet that Luke was on. She crashed the ship, she burned it, she says, fuck it, I'm out. If I just hide here, I'll never become a member of the Sith. I'll never be a dark side. The visions of me taking over for the Emperor won't come true because I just hide out. Luke tells her, no, that's the coward's way. You gotta, face your destiny. You gotta be the Jedi that we know you could be. They knew that she was a Palpatine, Luke and Leia, but they trained her anyway, figuring that she could overcome the blood inside her, because, the choices you make are stronger than the blood that's running through your veins, some shit like that. He gives her Leia's lightsaber, and we find out that Leia was trained as a Jedi, but she gave it up because she had a vision of her son dying at the end of her journey. So she gives up her lightsaber, never becomes a Jedi fully, I guess. Goes off, does the rebellion, blah, 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 blah. So Luke gives that lightsaber to Rey, tells her to take both the lightsabers, mine and Princess Leia's, go finish the job, destroy the Sith, do what you gotta do. Well, she's like, I can't, there's no way for me to get there. Ghost Luke raises his old X-Wing, gives it to her. She realizes that inside Kylo Ren's burned ship is the Wayfinder. She ends up being able to go to Exegol. And meanwhile, she transmits to the rebel base where she's going. They figure out that she's going to the planet. They could follow her, and they'll get there, and everything will be all good. Prior to this, one of the ships from the Final Order fleet had showed up and blew up Kijimi. Apparently, all these ships have Death Star capabilities, so it's pretty much the galaxy is fucked if they do not stop these ships. They figure out that the ships need some kind of navigational signal to take off because the way the space is in Exegol around this hidden planet, it's too rough for these ships to just take off on their own. They need help from a navigational beacon. So if they can get in, destroy the beacon before they take off, they might have a chance to ground all these ships and take them out. So that's the plan. That's what they go to do it. Of course, the First Order, they decide that that's not going to happen. They end up transferring from the tower to actually the lead ship. A lot of bullshit happens. Rey confronts Palpatine. Palpatine tells her that, hey, you kill me, my spirit's going to take over your body. And, then basically I'll rule the galaxy through you. We end up getting a nice little moment where Palpatine's basically taunting her like, hey, all those ships out there are dying. You got no hope. Your friends are going to die. But if you let me take over your body, then you'll be in charge and you'll be able to save your friends, even though you'll be now the new evil emperor. So she's kind of going for it. It looks like she's going to take the deal. But Kylo Ren shows up, kind of talks her out of it. Not talks her out of it, but kind of shows her that he's there. They feel each other because they're some kind of force connection. She ends up saying no, she's not going to kill him. She doesn't want to have hate. He's disappointed. She gets into a battle with his personal guard. Kylo Ren gets into a battle with the Knights of Ren. They both win their fights. They go to confront Palpatine, but he is so powerful that he just basically throws them to the side, starts stealing their energy, revives himself by stealing their life force. He eventually flicks Kylo Ren off the ledge, tells him that, hey, we're going to go send you tumbling down the way I was sent tumbling down. He tries to kill all the ships. He's throwing lightning up. Eventually, Rey is at the end of her rope. She's trying to contact these former Jedi. They talk to her through a vision, through the Force. We hear the voices of Mace Windu, Yoda, Anakin Skywalker, Qui-Gon Jinn, a bunch of other people whose names I don't recognize, but I'm sure Star Wars fans who know all the fucking history and everything, they probably like, oh, look at all these Easter eggs. They convince her to get up, fight back. She does so. She starts blocking the lightning from Palpatine, but she's not strong enough until She grabs a second lightsaber, using both Luke and Leia's lightsabers. She's blocking this, getting closer and closer to Palpatine, eventually reflecting the lightning bolts back at him, kills him. The day is saved. The battle is won. But the ships are still there. They can't really get rid of them. But Lando Calrissian has gotten everybody in the galaxy together. They all come in these little small ships, start blowing everyone the fuck up. The Rebel Alliance wins. They celebrate, yay. I mean, that's pretty much the whole movie. Now, I did skip over a few things, some trivial matters. There was the matter of who the spy was, but we'll get more into that when I talk about the characters in depth, because there is much to talk about. Now, we're going to start here with Rey and Kylo Ren, Ben Kenobi, or Ben Solo. I don't know why I keep calling him Ben Kenobi, Ben Solo. I like these two characters. In the first movie, I said that they showed kind of a dark side to Rey, and you've seen a sort of a light side to Kylo Ren. How both of them had this kind of doubt that they weren't sure where they wanted to go, how they were going to end up. This movie really hammers that home. Rey and Kylo, they're like two sides of the same coin. They're yin and yang. She's a Palpatine. He is a Skywalker. He should be good, but he's on the dark side. She should be bad, but she's on the light side. Both of them have doubts. Both of them are rebelling against who they are. It's throughout the movie, it can go either way. Maybe Rey's gonna become bad, join Kylo Ren. Maybe Kylo Ren's gonna become good and join Rey. It's a constant struggle back and forth. It was done really well. It showed that these two characters are connected. They're similar, yet they're different, opposites. Very well done. I liked it. I liked the development of the two characters over the course of the movie. The big moment with Rey when she kills Chewbacca, and she takes it upon herself. She says, "Hey, doesn't matter if I didn't mean to do it. Doesn't matter if I was struggling or it was an accident or whatever. I'm responsible, and I need to own up to that." And that was actually a big moment. That was kind of like something that you don't see a lot in movies. Hey, shit happens, and then people don't really talk about it. But in this one, they really talked about it. They let her own up. They let her say, "Hey, this is my fault. I need to fix it." On the other side, we get Kylo Ren, who realizes his mom's dead because of him. Again, inadvertently, but because she tried to reach out to him one last time, she died, and it's his fault. And he realizes he doesn't need to be bad. He doesn't need to go off to the dark side. He can go to the light side. He can go what's in his heart. And Han Solo gets a nice little moment where he talks to him, tells him that, hey, you can still come home. You can still do what's right. Kylo Ren rejects the dark side, becomes Ben Solo once more. It was a real good moment. When Princess Leia dies, we got a nice quiet moment where everybody was reflecting on the fact that she's dead. It wasn't just brushed aside. It wasn't just rushed through. We got Chewbacca on his knees wailing. All the characters in the base were dejected over the fact that she died. It was handled very well, very respectful. This is the kind of thing that should have been done with Han Solo, but unfortunately, they rushed through it. This one had quiet moments. They allowed the reflection. They allowed the characters to actually react normally. I enjoyed that. Finn kind of got the short end of the stick. He didn't really do much. He had a few moments, but there wasn't a lot of characterization. He does run into a character named Jana, who turns out that she is also a former stormtrooper. He finds out that, hey, he's not the only one who's rejected the stormtroopers. He's not the only one that's defected from the First Order. There's others like him, and that he feels that it was the Force working through him in order to make him rejected. It was a feeling, despite all the indoctrination, despite all their attempts to make him evil, the Force spoke through him, and he was able to overcome. And he believes that's why everyone in Janna's regiment also rejected. He feels like the Force brought him to Poe, brought him to Rey, and it was actually, it was actually a pretty good moment. It was actually insightful. You got a little look behind the curtain, like I was saying in the Force Awakens review. You have all these kids that were indoctrinated into the First Order, and then it's kind of waved aside. But in this movie, they gave it a little moment of quiet reflection, like, hey, some of these kids aren't evil. Some of these kids actually don't want to be there and eventually grow up and still don't want to be there. So they end up rejecting it and defecting. Now, Poe ends up becoming the general. After Leia passes, she decided, I guess, to give him command. He shares this responsibility with Finn, but he really shines in this movie. We see him piloting the Millennium Falcon. He's doing some kind of wacky hyperspace skip maneuver that, basically they're like, hey, what the hell is this? I didn't even know you could do this. And he's like, no, don't worry, I got this shit. He ends up outmaneuvering several TIE fighters. He eventually, like when he gets on Kijimi, we learn that he was a spice trader. We get a little bit more of his backstory. We learn that, he might have been kind of a bad person in the beginning, but he rejected that, decided that there was a cause worth fighting for. He tells Zori, she tells him, hey, run away with me, basically. I got this captain's medallion from the First Order. We can get through the blockades. We can run away together and live happily ever after. And Poe says, no, I want to, but this war is too important. I cannot walk away from this. This is the right thing to do. And eventually, he does tell her, hey, can I get a kiss? And she's like, nah. And it's a funny little moment because you could see both of them, despite she's wearing a mask, you could still see the body language that both of them really want it, but they realize they can't have it. This is a joke that's played again later in the movie. After everything's all nice and everyone won the battle, he gives her a look. She kind of gives him a look, and it's a nice little moment, nice little touch that there was something between these two, a backstory that you want to know more about. Rose Tico, if you thought Finn got the short end of the stick, Rose Tico didn't even get any of the stick. They basically just put her to the side. She got like one or two lines in the movie. You just kind of know that she still existed, but she really had nothing to do. Luke came out as a Force Ghost, said a few nice lines. It was really interesting. His character seemed a lot more optimistic, a lot less brooding. It was a lot better characterization of Luke from the first and second movie. First movie, he was barely in it. He was just this legend. Second movie, he was just basically emo Luke. This third movie, there was a nice balance. He fucked up. He realizes it, but he realizes the way he reacted was wrong, and it's got to be corrected. He should have did something better. And he tells Rey, you can't just hide away. You got to face your fear. Fear is what kept him on the planet. Fear is what the dark side wins if you give into it. Lando, he had a couple little lines in there. It's always good to see Billy D. Williams. Even when he's not trying to be smooth and suave, he's smooth and suave, so that was great. Chewbacca, what can you say about Chewie? He doesn't have much to say, but he does, he did emote a bit when Princess Leia died. We got Chewie on his knees, screaming, that was pretty good. We find out that General Hux, he's the spy. He's the one who has betrayed the First Order. He didn't do it because he wants the rebels to win. He didn't do it because it was the right thing to do. He did it because fuck Kylo Ren. That's why he just wanted to stick it to Kylo Ren. Probably hoping that Kylo would end up out of favor with everybody and he could take over. And we get a good moment where they're going to rescue Chewbacca from the ship. They go in there, they get captured. Poe, Finn, Chewbacca, they're captured. They're going to get executed. General Hux tells the stormtroopers, hey, I want to kill him myself, takes the gun, shoots the 3 stormtroopers, reveals that he's the spy, leads them away. He tells Finn, he says, hey, you gotta shoot me in the arm, or else they're gonna know that, I betrayed them. So he's trying to cover his ass. Finn shoots him in the leg in a funny little moment, and he comes hobbling in to the general. He's the General Grant, what the fuck's his name? General Pride. He goes over to General Pride and says, hey, they took off, they held me again, gunpoint, blah, 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 makes his excuse. General Pride just grabs a fucking blaster and shoots him. He's like, nope, that guy was a spy. And I thought that was a good moment, because there's a lot of movies where it's obvious that the guy's faking it. It's obvious the guy's full of shit, but the plot demands the people to be stupid. In this movie, the guy wasn't stupid. The guy realized right off the bat, there's no way they could have fucking got away. You must be the spy. Pew, fucking blast his ass. And that's the end of General Hux. Palpatine, it wasn't really, they brought him back. They didn't really explain how he came back. They didn't explain what he was doing, who all these cult members were. There was a lot of things left ambiguous. He didn't do much. He didn't have a big fight scene. He's just shooting lightning bolts. He dies in kind of a dumb way. It's almost reminiscent of the first trilogy, where he's shooting lightning and you could see it reflecting back at him. So you would think that he would learn by now. Maybe, you get lightning bolt, you're shooting lightning at people and it starts reflecting back at you. Maybe turn the lightning bolt off. I don't know. Other than that, there wasn't really too many other characters. There was some side characters. We got Dominic Moynihan was in the movie, Greg Grunberg. They were just two, not nobody actors, but, actors that you might be familiar with, just playing random rebellion members. Really, that's all there is to say about people in the movie. It was, like I said, it was a good movie overall. I enjoyed it. It was a lot better than The Last Jedi. It was better than The Force Awakens. This movie had good pacing, good visuals. The story was great. The MacGuffins were but I mean, if you are not really familiar with Star Wars, if you're just a fan in passing or someone new to the series, you probably are not going to have any problems with this movie. You're going to enjoy it. It's fun. If you are a hardcore Star Wars fan who knows everything, you probably picked up 100 different things that they got wrong, and there's probably a lot of things that you're going to nitpick and complain about, but hey, that's the nature of the beast, I guess. I will nitpick the shit out of a Marvel movie, but I'm not really that familiar with Star Wars. Only in passing. I've seen the original trilogy, so I did not mind the little bugs, the little nitpicks that other people might have. Overall, like I said, solid movie, 8 out of 10. Highly recommend it. I will be giving a overall thought on the entire Disney film series for Star Wars in another video, but as far as the trilogy goes, watch The Force Awakens. You could probably skip The Last Jedi and have no problems watching Rise of Skywalker. If Disney was going to remake any of those movies, I would remake The Last Jedi. Force Awakens and Rise of Skywalker are fine the way they are. Got no problems with either of those movies. But that's all I got to say about this. You know how we do it here. Love, peace, booty grease. I'm out this bitch.